Welcome to the Balanced Flux podcast. I'm Tenny McLeod, and these are my takes on cultivating mental health, enhancing personal productivity, thereby living a balanced life. I hope that you'll be inspired to expand the quality of your life and in turn, empower others along the way. Expect new episodes on Sundays at 1 p.m. UTC on major podcast apps and platforms. And remember that you can always get more information on the website at balancedflux.com. So join me now and every week on this inspiring and fulfilling journey through the Balanced Flux podcast. Okay, a quick question. Why aren't you seeing any change in your life? After all, you've been working considerably hard and staying consistent in your regimen. You've been ticking off most, if not all of the tasks on your to-do list. Why, you've even taken measures to faithfully follow your routine, hoping for a breakthrough. And yet, to your bewilderment, you still don't see significant or impactful changes. Is it because you're not doing enough? Could it be that you're incapable of producing positive change? Or are you truly unfortunate and doomed never to improve for the rest of your life? Now, the answers to all of these questions converge to, believe it or not, just one simple principle. And that is, if you've been doing similar, if not exactly the same actions, assuming of course that all the other factors surrounding those actions remain pretty much the same, you'll almost certainly never see a change. Simply put, do the same old things and you'll get the same old results. Sounds very obvious, perhaps even ridiculous, right? But make no mistake, there are way too many out there who are completely oblivious to this obvious yet profound cause and effect principle. They somehow get themselves stuck in a loop, repeating the same patterns without even realizing it. And well, you've guessed it, end up getting the same outcomes. Think of it like this. If you're following a recipe and the dish consistently turns out too salty, you wouldn't keep adding the same amount of salt, now would you? You'd adjust the seasoning to achieve a different, more palatable result. Similarly, if you want different outcomes in life, you must change your actions, thoughts, and even your reactions to situations. And when you recognize that your choices and behaviors directly shape your destiny, you will have the power to change, grow, and create a different, preferably better outcome. Now, this principle isn't about blaming and punishing yourself for past mistakes. And don't be misled into believing that this is all about striving for an impossible standard of perfection, which couldn't be further from the truth. Instead, it's about taking responsibility for your actions and empowering yourself to produce meaningful and lasting changes. By acknowledging your patterns and making conscious choices to improve, you gain the ability to create positive outcomes. It's not about instant gratification either. See, change requires time, effort, and unwavering commitment. Also, yes, practice makes perfect, no doubt about that. However, practicing the same routines without allowing any room for change and improvement is bound to create plateaus, thereby stunting all areas for growth. For example, consider your daily habits and routines. If you consistently hit the snooze button, you'll likely be late for work or appointments. If you always choose unhealthful foods, you'll evidently experience health issues down the road that will probably worsen. And if you accumulate too much clutter in your life, you'll eventually overwhelm yourself, completely depriving yourself of a productive lifestyle. Remember, repetitive behavioral patterns lead to predictable outcomes, beneficial or otherwise. But this extends beyond physical actions. Your thoughts and emotions also play a crucial role. If you constantly dwell on negativity, you'll likely attract more of it into your life. Conversely, if you cultivate uplifting self-talk and focus on gratitude, you'll experience more positivity and joy. It's all about the cyclical nature of your thoughts plus actions and how they contribute to your overall experiences. Additionally, how you react to situations is equally important. If you frequently react with anger or frustration, you'll likely create more conflict and stress not only within yourself, but also with those you interact with. But if you respond with patience, understanding, and empathy, you'll likely foster better, more harmonious connections. Now, what can you do to see some change in your life? Well, practice being more objectively mindful of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in the present moment. No judgments, just observations. Learn to identify recurring patterns and triggers that lead to unproductive actions and results. Then, to complement your mindful practices, begin journaling while taking the time to reflect on your experiences, explore alternative measures you can implement, and pinpoint areas for improvement. It's like having a conversation with yourself, gaining a deeper understanding of your motivations and behaviors. Also, don't be afraid to experiment. Try new approaches, step outside your comfort zone, and see how different actions lead to different outcomes. Truthfully, this can be a little daunting at first, but you'll gain an increased level of self-awareness, allowing you to make more informed decisions that align with your goals and values. It's all about learning and growing, discovering what works best for you, and refining your approach as you go along. Having said that, be prepared for some initial discomfort. Identifying and unearthing deep-rooted patterns can be tricky, as they usually operate beneath the surface of your awareness. And stepping outside your comfort zone to change ingrained patterns does require effort, patience, and a willingness to confront old habits and thought processes. You will likely encounter setbacks along the way, but remember, they're simply opportunities for growth and learning. Once again, if you truly want to see any change unfold in your life, you simply have to start, or in this case, change somewhere. Though it doesn't need to be overnight, it doesn't need to take an eternity either. So, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. If you always get what you've always got, you're always doing what you've always done. Do not what you've always done, but what you always must, and you will always get what you always want. And that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Balanced Flux podcast. A new episode drops every Sunday at 1 p.m. UTC on major podcast apps and platforms. You can also listen to the podcast and extend your support through the website at balancedflux.com. This podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. Kindly seek the appropriate care and treatment from licensed professionals. Do join the community on social channels and send your messages there or via email. Either way, if this podcast sparks some form of inspiration, I'd be more than glad to hear from you. Thank you for sharing your time and mind space. Your presence and engagement truly make this journey even more fulfilling and rewarding. I'm Tenny McLeod, signing off for now, and until the next time, stay safe, best wishes, and keep striving to achieve your balanced flux.